Today we're going to be looking at an Aimsir Láithreach, the present tense. That's why we have our little hipster guy up in the corner. A lot of people, when they think about the present tense, think about abertí nos é seo. Sentences like this. Tá mé ag ré, I am running. Tá mé ag scríobh, I am writing. Tá mé ag caint, I am talking. Tá mé ag léamh, I am reading. But actually, no. This is not an Aimsir Caite. This is what we call an adiocht bríthirtha, which is the ing part of our verb. An Aimsir Láithreach deals with things that happen in the present. A ríis is a ríis is a ríis. Things that happen regularly, again and again. Nos gach lá, every day. Téimir scóil gach lá. I go to school every day. Gach seachtain, every week. Déanamid alíonn gach seachtain. We do art every week. Gach mí, every month. Tugam curtir ma wamo gach mí. I visit my granny every month. Gach bliain, every year. Téimir ma léithin de sira gach bliain. I go on holidays every year. Gach luan, every Monday. Scríbham síos ma oberwálja gach luan. I write down my homework every Monday. Now, féach structure na haberta, the structure of this sentence. Tá bríthir a gcuin, verb, agus tá parsa a gcuin, person. An bhecin tú níl aon H ann nos an Aimsir Caite. No H like we'd have in the Aimsir Caite. Ní dhéanamid aon athruithe tús an bríthir. We don't make any changes to the start of the verb in the Aimsir Láithreach. Ach, déanamid athrú an deire. We do change the ending. Glanann tú an seomra. You clean the room. Now we'll remember from an Aimsir Caite our pattern of quail a quail and leathan a leathan. Má tá gutta leathan an seo, caithfidh mé gutta leathan a chur an seo. They have to both be broad vowels or both be narrow vowels. And we'll see here that this does work. So tá sé ceart. Glanann tú an seomra. You clean the room every day or regularly. Glanann sé an seomra. Glanann sí an seomra. Glanann siv an seomra. Again, we'll remember siv, that's you plural. When you're talking to more than one you. So, like we said before, a very Dublin person would say yis, and maybe a very country person would say ye. Yis or ye clean the room. Glanann siad an seomra. They clean the room. Glanann an madra an seomra. The dog cleans the room. It could be Glanann Niall an seomra, Glanann an Moonshore an seomra, Glanann ma Water an seomra. An bhecin tú céin cín atá in asnav. Which ones have we left out? Muid, we. And just like on Aimsir Caite, we have a different ending for we. Now, you can say Glanann muid an seomra. Tá sé ceart. It is correct. But in most parts of Ireland, we would take our muid and turn it into an ending that goes on our route. So, Glanann muid, slán leat, Glanann míid. Agus a ríis féach an bhfuil sé leathan an seo, agus an bhfuil sé leathan an seo, tá siad, so tá sé ceart go leor. Now, here's a difference. We have something different for may. In the Aimsir Caite, we would use may. And again, Glanann mé an seomra, I clean the room. Technically, that is correct, and you can use it. But for most parts of Ireland, our may gets absorbed into our verb. So, slán leat Glanann mé, Glanam. Glanam an seomra, I clean the room. Agus féach an seo, an bhfuil sé leathan, tá sé. An bhfuil sé leathan, tá sé, so tá sé ceart go leor. Seo sampla eile. Éist. Éist tú le Niall. Now this doesn't mean anything without the ending. Éistin tú le Niall. You listen to Niall regularly. I hope you do. Now, déanfaimid check We're going to do a check. An bhfuil sé leathan an seo, tá sé. An bhfuil sé leathan an seo, níl sé. Tá sé quail. So sin mí ceart. This can't be right. We can't have a broad vowel and a narrow vowel together. So, slán leat an agus féach an seo. An difriúil, a different an. E-A-N-N. Still sounds the same. Éistin tú le Niall. You listen to Niall. Déan hí míad seic. An bhfuil sé quail an seo, tá sé quail. An bhfuil sé quail an seo, tá sé quail. Quail a quail, tá sé ceart go leor. Now, éistin sé le Niall. Éistin sí le Niall. Éistin sibh le Niall. Éistin siad le Niall. Agus éistin an madra le Niall. He actually doesn't listen to me very often at all. Now, again, which one was missing? Muid. Can you say éistin muid le Niall? Yes, technically it's correct. But the better way to say it is éistin míid. Now, arís, déan hí muid seic. We're going to do our check. Gut a leathan an seo, broad vowel. Gut a quail an seo, narrow vowel. Níl sé ceart. We can't have quail and leathan together. So slán leat imíd, agus seo imíd difriúil. Different spelling. I-M-I-D. Sounds completely the same. Éistin míid le Niall. Ach an seo fecin muid. Gut a quail, agus gut a quail. Quail a quail, tá sé ceart go leor. Now inis, éistin mé le Niall. I listen to Niall. And bhfuil sé ceart? Yes, technically it is right, but there's a better way to say it. Éistim le Niall. Éistim. Ach arís déan an seic. Gut a leathan, gut a quail. Mí ceart. Ní féidir linn gut a leathan agus gut a quail a úsáid le chéile. So slán leat agus seo Sounds the same, different spelling. Éist im, I-M. Déan seic, gut a quail, agus gut a quail. Quail a quail, tá sé ceart. Éistim le Niall, I listen to Niall. Ceart go leor, inis támuid chun féchant conas ceistena a chur san Aimsir Láithreach. How do we ask questions san Aimsir Láithreach? Agus dálamuid maidir leis an Aimsir Caite, tá bailach difriúil chun ceistena a ragart as Gaeilge. When we learned about the Aimsir Caite, we learned there's a different way of answering questions in Irish. There's no such thing as yes and no. Now, we're used to hearing tá and níl, but that's not how you answer a question in Irish. You answer a question with the question you were given. So, did you break it? Not yes or no, but I broke it or I didn't break it. On mission to, do you break? Now, you've probably noticed that there's an extra letter here at the beginning of brishin. That's what we call an uru, which is a small letter that we put on the front of our word for a variety of reasons. Here, it's when we're asking a question. On mission to. Now, not every letter gets an uru. B gets an uru. It gets M. On mission to. C gets an uru. It gets G. On gwirin to. D gets an uru. It gets N. On noonan to. F gets an uru. It actually gets BH. On vaughan to. G gets an uru. It gets an N, just like D. On nurtian to. P gets an uru. It gets a B. On buchan to. T gets an uru. It gets a D. On duggan to. And all of the vowels get the same uru. N hyphen. On nolan to. So we're just going to leave those over there for a moment so you can see them as we're going through. So our kesh was on marishin to. Do you break? And the answer is brisham. I break. Or ni vrisham. I don't break. And again here we're seeing something extra. When we're saying no in the Aimsir Láithreach, and you'll find out in the Aimsir Áisneach, the future tense as well, we use a H when we say no. Ní bhriseam. Now, we can't use a H on every single letter. We'll remember from the Aimsir Caite, L, N, or, and an S that comes with a consonant like SP, SC, ST, and SR. No H's for them. Okay? Here's another test. On noonan to, do you close? You'll see the uru at the front, and my answers are dunam, I close, or ní runam, I don't close. And again, we see the H there in the middle. Kestella. On nolan to, do you drink? Agus an fragra, olam, I drink, or ní olam, I don't drink. And you'll see there's no H here because we don't put a H on a vowel. The most important things we need to remember here with our question is, in the Aimsir Caite, in the past tense, we asked a question with er. And now we're asking a question with on. In the Aimsir Caite, we answered negatively with near. And now we're answering negatively with ní. Er and near, Aimsir Caite. On and ní, Aimsir Láithreach. So let's have a quick recap of what we've learned. Here's a single syllable, broad Latin verb. That's why it's beside the elephant, because it's broad. And we have dunam, I close. Dunan tu, she, shiv, and shiad. And dunamij, we close. Fech Lahan agus Lahan. That's how you know what ending to put on. Here's a single syllable narrow verb. Tá sé quail. That's why it's with the flamingo. Caham, I throw, wear, or spend. Cahan tu, cahan she, cahan shiv, cahan shiad. And then cahamij, we throw, wear, or spend. A rish fech tá sé quail an seo agus quail an seo. That's how you know what ending to use. I hope that was helpful and you'll be able to look over that again.